Wa maitunika na mandiwa makimanyiso kinene cha masako ni matwa isya miatianio kwe umundi maito takumana na kuongeleka kwa ungei na uvungulu wa muu wa musini wa masako na mono isioni isya kathemboni katoloni isili kati wa ingi ila siyidhulukite kimanyiso kiu maofisa mavu walisi ni malasimika kutumia nzeve ya kumya medhoi kuvalani ya mandiwa ala mekwenda kuvinga lelo wa kumu masako kuthi wote maitata kana veumowo unatiwa nidhayu itina wa kuvithukiwa ni mangentile Mwandukitu Daniel Mwangala nwende na utumbanisi ya Mauvoo wasu na ituithi wa tuyunengelelia o tuende yete. Na tuisonga na mbe Mauvoo ni angini kana mutongoi wa ngwatanio ya Azimio Raila Odinga yoweta kana mavangithitie umbano wa kunenania kwa vamwe na enendi kiwanzani cha Kamukunji ilovi no timu ya tianio otondo aingimeweta na kumenda enendi mathingilile mugo. Raila yasekana kati wa maundwala makanena nisiani vamwe na utongoi wa serikali ya Kenya Kwanza kama komishona ana ma IBC ngalama ya mikalile kati waangi na kuima tukui 12 mwayu makwatwa yesia chathi cha jamhuri na vala chama cha Jubilee cha ikithia niki kukwatiania na Azimio mivangoni utondo mwandukitu Benjamin Mwaka ukuelesio.
Ngwatanio ya Azimio One Kenya ni awete isote limwani serikali yungamia mivango ya kutoa isemiatianio yo kwambia wakatatu ukite kiwanzani cha Kamukunji va musini lovi atongo imangwatanio hii ni maweta mena aki ya kutoa isemiatianio hii ila maweta ikithwa ya Mugo.
The December 7th Kamukunji meeting, we confirm that the meeting is on as earlier planned, and for those in charge of the security agencies to do their duty to ensure that they keep peace at our meeting as provided by the Constitution and the law.
It's a peaceful public consultative meeting. It is not a demonstration or picketing. If you wanted to do a protest demonstration, you would just inform the police, provide security, and we'll do it. But we are not demonstrating. We are not going to engage in any act of thuggery or hooliganism, and no property is going to be destroyed.
Katwa sinduka uta ilangu atunyo ya Azimio itite ati mono kana kuka kunena nisya ni ulua wailu wa serikali kumakudhwa kuma ofisi na makomishona manza makungamia nyuvani IEBC mbala kuka kuviki ya umondi ele katwa ana alin zamani halani Justus Nyang'aya na muninu wa mwene kivila mwandu Juliana Cherera mavike tena kutia wea.
And we shall not tolerate skewed legislation, partisan legislation, trying to introduce a William Ruto Electoral Commission, not even a Kenya Kwanza, a William Ruto Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission must be for all Kenyans, not to serve an individual or a faction.
Azimio dhiyaka na usumbi wa President William Ruto ni wa kithoi usie kuandikana kwa kimanano misingini ya kimbai na uende kunenga wea ando ingi alame na makwani mekotine ingi ni mawete vangu ya President Ruto ya kuvalanya nzama ya IBC ivanie kusiovya nzama ingi imbia yake mwene ite yungamie ona vanini.
These so-called new kids on the block have been in government. There's nothing new. In fact, they're just reinstating those old bad days, and we are cautioning Kenyans and alerting them that the era of dictatorship is back with us, and that Kenyans should not sit back and allow these people that comfort of thinking that they can subdue all of us. We will not let that happen.
Na unowevo ni maweta ta Azimio maikwenda serikali ya nusu mkate kuma kwa serikali ya Kenya Kwanza na ni mavangithitie ona chathi cho cha Jamhuri Day kiwanzani cha Jakaranda va musini lovi kutani ya kila maweta ni uthasio na ukumba wa andu ingela serikali ya oyu yende kuna maswa kanayo lilo ni mo.
Ruto and his deputy have a very narrow view of the Republic of Kenya. They do not know where Kenya has come from. They do not know where they want to take it. Ours will be a celebration of patriots.
Again, that is just going to be celebrating Jamhuri Day with wazalendo wa Kenya. And it's also going to be a very peaceful congregation. Not protest, not picketing, not at all. But all that also is also guaranteed by the Constitution of Kenya.
Nambe wa umbano wa kwi auke kuvika. Veina mokuli kukonya umo wa siya mangwatu ni valasyon kwi umundi siya ikivya siya mwe na ikavika umbano ni o medonde mei siya isiye siya masya Wiper, Jubilee na kila cha KANU.
As you can see here, Honorable Martha Karua represents NAK Kenya. Honorable David Murathe here and Jeremiah Kioni here represent Jubilee. And Honorable Robert Mbui here represents Wiper Party. Honorable Gideon Moi of KANU has also sent just apologies. So you need to know that Azimio is very much united here. And we just want to reiterate again what Martha has told you, that we are acting in the best interest of the members of Azimio.
Dilivotia Vilingi Wa Mauvoo kuma maamuzi nilovi nye nitawa Benjamin na mwaka.
Kungi ni kana munini wa mwene kivila nzamani ya unyuvani na mivaka IBC Juliana Cherera ni watia wa kuyumonde kioko itina wa kumwandikia valua musumbe William Ruto kumanithia ona itina wanzama ye mwanya kuseugwa kuthiana wendekethio wako muvetanga ofisini emwamba na makomishana angi atatu ni kumana na itambia ye valayu amwema enende kuma matungulu menda ndongo ya ngwatanio ya Azimio One Kenya kuungamia muvango wa miatianio ila mabangithitie kwi wakatatu ukite vala maweta kananzia ya miatianio tiyo sungio mwailu wa kumi na mathina ala mekumbilite nthi ya Kenya. Boni Mutisia inalivoti.
Tina President William Ruto kumaungamia makamishana na nthini wa ofisi kuma zamani onyuvani na mivaka IBC yunsewe yonekaende na uvinduka wakatatu komishana mwenja Stars Nyang'aya aitie wia na muthanyani wa umunthe munini wa mwene kivila wa nzama ya onyuvani na mivaka Juliana Cherera ivikia na utia wia wake. Thini wa valua wake ula wandika muthanyani wa umunthe Juliana Cherera ni kana ethitwe thukumite na kithito nthini wa ofisi wa onyuvani na mivaka ateo aweta ethitwa isila ivinda yomuta munini wa mwene kivila wa nzameno ya onyuvani na mivaka na mawia make ondhala unaotetha senthini wa ofisi wake ndanethe kana kuelekela ukalikoni umwe. Maandiko ma Cherera ni maweta ingi kwithiwa na vikie na uthukumanesa wea wake nuna vikie na ukwata usili lolola utane kwatiasya ona ingi kuvika matone matongo inanze ila waweta tawali ulo muthuku. Aivikia kutia wea wake Cherera ingi ni waweta kananu vikie na utwaise unena nyena andu mamukonyoke kana mamusi ovamwe na mawakili make na lama vikie na kuetikila itambia yake ya kutia uvisi kana wea na wayu ni weta kana vaina vata wa kuendea kwithiwa munini wa mwene kivila wa nzama onyuvani na mivaka. Kumana na kina mwatongo yukalekoni wa ulei matongo ewe ni Raila Amolo Odinga no mwende na utwaisi amomano siya maandamano kana kwithiwa maina ni siya yulua kukwithiwa ofisini kwa makomishana ya na kuyanana na mama enende kuma isio ni siya matungulu vaina vata ngwatanio ya Azimio One Kenya ikaendea na utwaisi ya miatianio kana maandamano kwithiwa alama vikie na utia wia mateo na nyakana mena wendiwa kuendea na utete wa
siya commission ya IBC ilani notoyo musukuma munene ula utuekie nenda utuekiwa maandamano ndo wa IBC ala ni makomishonana ala maaminie kuleana na mausungio ala maivo na ala marugutwika na ita manenganie kembithi kila chekiwe nundu wize Cherera we mwene no mini resign na amina resign ko manja wona ke mwe ewe news ona atete wona kuandamanwa ndembwa emwe yani
ketha Cherera ni wa resign tiko na maandamano maelekewa yula udala ile na interest yake mwene eka kiucha Cherera na nengete yasia twaisia ndeno na etha maisha you president ilika kwe maisha meyo momo na no roko no maisha maende na uthayango kidogo isipokuwa ando maiko na dokumete
ama enende ni maelesekana makomishana no kwithiwa matea ni kwithiwa me ofisini na vaiva tangwatanio ya Azimio One Kenya ikaendea na masukuma kwithiwa ilungu yo ya kwithiwa ofisini iende na uthala na kukuthwa kwa ofisini tikitumikia nucha kwithiwa na mbumbano ila ivangitwe ni ngwatanio ya Azimio One Kenya.
Kuura ila ke uendeze tafadhali ningwaze weka ni acho nundu na moyo mona nie kana bena musuku mongi tutese bala umete na bala ona mombene ibinda yo ya uthukomi twize ithela mwaka ukite na wasisia ti eanie kwembwa mewe ya neozu kwa uno ndo momene mambio tuonia moti eanie Raila kiyamboe kanacho ete kindu kingi na twasieta enende tukausupport
nundu cherele weka cherele na avuda kwa kaita mutuku wako kana kwa kaita mutuku wa Mukenya longe cherele ndavudu ebe kiwonge onake no unaisangie natie kana kolokolo kwa tie mundu aye kwa na tina no neza na fact atumia mekwaza kuandamano ciana cione nandike
mewetakana kwithiwa na miatanio kana maandamano no kutunga maendeleo na itina na vai wailuene nthi makaendea nongelwa thina ungi vindani yema vinyewe ni maundu kivathukanyo va nthino ya Kenya
ndigo na mailete na ndigo na meno otethio kwa mwene nthi Raila asisie ta we kiongozi wa opposition nzilo ndo na usukumea serikali ya Ruto ni kana withie Ruto maundu ala wathani ta president aite kivila cha president na serikali yake ya Kenya kwanza ni meania na maandamano maimwe the last option
kila mendekeria muno ni President William Ruto vamwe na serikali yake manengo evinda yani kuthukuma mwene nthi na kwithiwa evinda ila ivikie na uveta me utongo-ini iyo ikuvi na vatena welu wa kwithiwa na maandamano kana kuendea na uvingi sa utongo iwo
serikali inengwe mwana thukume na nundu nora twa mina 100 days tunenge musumbe mwana thukume nange wa maandamano mayekanwama ni kwatia mukamba wi ndombe thukesie na kabito ila inge twende ina wia be you waize vindela kwa maandamano no bape andu inge muno maumeiye vinda ya Raila Odinga ndiayo Raila azama compensate wa kila Raila weki asembie maimeka andisheki hathia ya matema state house olwa na andu asumake
membo the last option maundu onthe matatiwe kweka lwa nthi kwa nenwa kwa sababu committee andu manena na Raila ta mutongoi wa opposition aitumia andu make kunena na serikali
Mutongoi TV kumava kaundini ya Masako nyeni toboni mutesya
Pwe muthenya wa andu makwiyumya kana World Volunteers Day ikundi ya Jumuiya Initiative kuma wote itongoiwe ni director wayo Karen Munyae ni atwaisya uvandi wa miti kiimani cha kamba vakuvi na usi wa Mauvoo ni tanzia mwe ya kusubya mwithuluko na kutania muthenya uu wa thukumi makwiyumya ainena isisoni Karen ni wawetakana kusubya miti vamwe na indo ila ciananga miti ila yavandwa ndikuo thina munene wikumirite makuweni sikayoni cia kuongela utalo wa miti kauntini isu Caleb Chalo ena livoti
makitania muthenya uona ulanthi yonthe tambwa andu ala meyuma cia kukuna mawe ya kisioni kana wendewe volunteers muthenya wesikania ta World Volunteers Day ekundi ya Jumuiya Initiative kuma musini wa wote ungwa director wayo Karen Munyae ni makwatiania na NND ndongo cia kisio mevo makivu na inde maofisa kuma muvea wa mititu kana wendewe Kenya Forest Research Institute kuvanda miti kiimani cha kamba na kila kiva kuvena musi wa Emali Karen akiweta kana ikundi yo ni yithitwe ikitwaisya kampeni cia kusuvya mwithuluko kumanwa na waluku wa nzeve
Umuthi ni International Volunteers Day na tuonie kwivata muno kuvanda miti ngaliko ino ya Emali pa kwa kamba ni kwithona wasiza mawiululuko ama itu penthi nitikwenda uvanda miti na ithie ta Jumuiya Initiative nitukwatanie na mashirika oangi pamwe na kefri o pamwe na community ava upisi wa MCA upisi wa county government
muthenya wa munthi makivanda miti mbe wa ngili umwe va kimaniki Karen no kuelesya kana thina munene ula makwata ni undu wa miti ila mavanda undu ni kusuvika na vala wenda enende makwatiania namo kwikithia kana ni masisya usuviku wa miti ila yavandwa
nikithakani is a community forest na withia kila mundu ni ulecha indo ikaye na kuithakani andweza kwithia miti ila tatia tavanda ni yanangika na ina asuvika na ineana na nicho kitumio kuona tababa bena changamoto kiu lakini going forward nituthukuma na kikundi cha muika kiva kwa kamba maintain manage wisa kwithia miti no tavanda umuthi ni yana
umuthi o nitiwie moyo nondu ve ungana ni group yokie ya kupanda miti o tuvundisia kupanda miti na nitiwie moyo nondu nitweteie miti na yatwo ni ondu tailo panda pa gwitu nitithe thathe no panda miti nitambe yo panda kuma tene lakini thina la wetha hapo ni kungithia miti nondu wa umo kwoga kwa makiwicha ausene wetha miti ta panda tugetuma na alafu indo indo itete asiatho wako stoka silikete metene siete
Linet ni avisa ulothukumane kundi ya Kefri na nukuelesya kana kundu wa kutungia miti kwa wingi na kuitana makueni vena vata waimi kusisya ndithia yo ya indo na kumiolanga akiweta kana indo ni kisiya kinene cha kuongela miti nthini wele mpetayi ya makueni
yulua indo ila tuithasya aithi katika misi yitu twenda tu advise andu kana nundu miti yona thina na no mbesa kuwa mundu ayo indo ila utona kwikata utona kuwea ni kana iso ethi angewa ya kulesya indo kwenda kuithekani kuya kwokwo nitwasuvia mitisu nundu ketha waya mbuyo ile kana itano kana ng'ombe nini ile utonya kutemea na kijinza withia mitila ya around ni yetha ya suvika.
Caleb Chalo, Mutongo TV, Vilingi Wa Mauvoo, kumava kaunti ya Makueni.
Munini wa Musumbi Rigathi Gachagua ni wombula kana ayumbe mambunge akatena muno mangwatano ya Kenya Kwanza ni metho wa maikonua isesoni ya kunenganilo via sia kinandu cha Asla Fund wala wamenda mambie kuelesya enende usio wa kinandu ki aina na kikaloni changaliko ya ala ingi mukawani umwe musini wa ilovi. Gachagua ni wenda ayumbe ma Kenya Kwanza kwithiwa itui sia kinandu ki isio nisio kwisila kuelesya ondoki kukilia Kenya maukwati munini Kenya yonthe. Mwandiku yutubo ni Mutisia no kuelesya mbeange
ni wambunge nene sikalo ila siwate wa kunena ni wa maundu makonete utongo ina uthukumi wa mbunge munini wa President Rigathi Gachagua no wetakana vena vata ene makaende na uvundi wa maundu ukonia kinandu cha Asla Fund kila kithi wa kine wene ingi ai mathuthi ya mbunge ya kulikana na ene kavindani kalame uthi umoni mukuvi na kumonia vata wa kinandu ki
to continue explaining to our people the way it is operating. And most importantly, to urge them to pay.
Gachagua ni walena na imusia ndeto sia tongo ikuma ukalikoni wa ubizani kana enendi ni mali tokosa kinandu kina kulea kueva ima kulia yumbea ya kuikithia kana iso niso ila masa kuetreva ina mituo teye kuyenendi na kuikithia kana ni mavuta mesilia na eto ila siende na uvando na mama tongo ikatiwa ile kosia enendi.
You have heard these characters from the other side of Azimio telling people to borrow the money and not to pay, which is very retrogressive thinking. That should not happen in areas where you have been elected. And we are urging you to be the ambassadors of the Hustlers Fund during the recess and also counter that negative narrative by these Azimio characters. That is a responsibility that we wish you to carry out during your recess period.
Munini wa Musumbi ni wathingila kana itambia unengane kinandu kiku yende nesa na vewelu enende makaende na uvundi wa vata wa kinandu na kuendea na ukova kana kuosa ilovia kuikithi kana ni mongela iwango siose uneo ilovia siri ulangu.
And take time to talk to the business people, to the young people, to the hustler nation, that there is value in borrowing that money and keep on paying and increasing their chances to borrow more. Already, we are doing very well. More than 9 million people, as of this morning, have registered for the Hustler Fund. Another 3.7 million people have already borrowed money to the tune of 2.8 billion.
Oingini wamenda yumbe ya kuhithiwa ngeleka nyonzo nthini wa utongo imaunduni kiuthukanyo na muno nthini wa kisomo cha CBC aima kulia malika isio ni siandwani kutoa iseo nenanya na ungamia nene mama skulu kuikithia kana kinandu cha CDF kila kikwatiwa kutonya lelo maskulu ni chato mikondu vailite na muno kwa ilia kisomo cha CBC.
That we the Kenya Kwanza formation lead by example on the implementation of the junior secondary school, which you know, the Presidential Working Party on Educational Reforms has recommended and the President has agreed that the junior secondary school will be domiciled in the primary school. During your recess, to go and plan with the teachers and the BOMs on how using the money from the national government fund, CDF, how to put up the junior secondary school. And we want to lead by example.
vana wa makula kwisuvya na ivathukanuka na mivaka ila yende na ukusa ukonia kisomo na mitalatala ya CBC aiweta ithwani vatonyeka makethwa matengeleka nyonzo wa tongo inane nthi ma Kenya ni matonyeka makaina molotolota ilete na kuendea na uvaluka nthini wa maendeleo.
If this divide of our politics starts by way of example, because we are government, using CDF funds to put up the junior secondary school within a very short time, the rest of the country will follow suit.
Nthini wa kikalo ki otauni wa makula yumbe kuvikiana kumila evinda yo ya uthiumo ite thelu kenda kutwaisya unenanya yulwa mondola matetela evinda ya uthiumo wa kuvikiana uthela.
The majority leader has moved a motion to have a special sitting of the National Assembly so that you can deal with urgent agenda that cannot wait for February when you come back. I request you to create time to come and prosecute that agenda so that even as you proceed with your recess, the business of government can move on. So I'm sure you will create time to come to the National Assembly and deal with matters that cannot wait for February.
Motongo TV nyene toboni motesya
kungi ni kana musumbi Dr. William Ruto yoweta kana kwika mawali ukumu veani wa koti Kenya yonthe ni kutetheesya Kenya kukwata aki kwa mituki nthini wa makoani mekivothukanio. Ainena cha nthini cha kunewa rivoti ya uthukomi wa koti ya mwaka wa 2021 musumbi Ruto ni waweta kana kutumia teknolojia na nzi ingi cia kumina ngusanisyo ni kutetheesya vanene kukwata aki vate kukwithia muvea wa koti muiyo munene. Ken Mulinge na Mauvoo.
Aithika kikaloni cha kumilo kwa livoti ya mwaka wa 2021 mwaka wa 2022 ya maunduma aki ni muvea wa koti wa Kenya. President William Ruto nuenda muvea ukukumbatilia nziasi ya wiwenithia na siya matukuasi ya kiteknolojia ni kana kuola makuani kifothokanyo alama kwa mwite kotini. Ruto iweta kuselewa kwa mwema makuoni ana muno alama nini kavinda ni kala isililo mekolokoloni takituvio kinene. Mbeo uti ula wesa kumwetuna wa makuani ya kusilwa na mwema esililwa akwithwa matena mavitio.
Delays in cases is more prejudicial than the eventual penalty of conviction. The prejudice is compounded where the accused turns out not to be guilty. Custodial sentencing should not be default conviction, especially where petty crimes are involved. Similarly, there are many instances in which the use of technology, the use of alternative resolution approaches, the use of alternative to prosecution could go a long way in achieving substantive justice without overburdening the criminal justice system.
Kithito ni Ruto iweta taukikia maolo nyombeange mautethese muvea uwa koti kusila makuani kwa metuki na kuikithia ene nthini makwata aki mate kuselewa. Nzemwe iweta taukutethese uminukiliane wa koti ina ila siele kuthinikia makuani ama nini musini munene wa ilovi. Itambe iyo kamia ikauta shina wa Ruto kutangasa kuongela muvea uwa koti silingi bilioni 3 sia kutethese kutoa isia maundumo. Na wengi kwa vidhia majaji thandatola maleto ni President utie wea Uhuru Kenyatta. Vala ame amwema maondola ndongo inene ya uleiva Kenya Raila Odinga onateta Ruto tokutumia kwikia muvea uwa koti muvuko. Ruto we yumile kuweta kana yani na ndena vata na kuonga koti.
Despite prevailing budgetary, we will unlock financial resources necessary to enhance access to justice in terms of infrastructure as well as personnel. I have agreed with the Chief Justice this morning that the pending 4 small claims courts in Nairobi, I will talk to the governor of Nairobi so that we can expedite the completion of these courts, because small claims are a bottom-up benefit And therefore, Madam Chief Justice, within the next 90 days, we will give you the 4 courts in Nairobi.
Musili munene wa makuani va Kenya Martha Koome ule vikiteke kaloni kie mwambana munene wa mea wa Kenya Justin Muturi na mwandikithia wa movia wa koti Han Amadi. Aithingile la pata wa mbongesio ndita tusia serikali kuthukuma simu mwambane kana kuwikithia enenthi ni makwata uthukumi. Mutongo wese wa makuani ma enenthi va Kenya Nordin Aje iweta movia wa koti. Tawonde kwikia musingi utumi wanzi ya matuku asha kusila makuani ni kana kwa ilanja uthukumi wa uo kwa enenthi mandhi ya Kenya.
I'm sure this meeting, we will be accused of sitting down and meeting with the executive. However, from the very beginning when the Chief Justice took over as the Chief Justice and the chair of the NCAJ, she was very clear that as much as we are independent institutions, we are interdependent of each other, and we must work with each other. And this is how governments are supposed to be run.
Once again, Your Excellency, I thank you for making time to come and encourage us, because we are all about inter-agency, interdependence, collaboration, and cooperation, because at the end of the day, we serve one Kenyan. The one Kenyans have named Wanjiku.
Ken Mulinge, Mutongo TV.
Mube yake ni mulinge na initi kwate kana mawaliu kwa sume kuyanibwa ni kana makwani ma Kenya maike okuwe vinda yasa kotini twambothi umabanini rusekadetie na mauvombe yange.
Dial *811*465# to get Colossians 3 verse 15 as your skiza tune.
Colossians chapter 3 verse 15. And let the peace of Christ be ruling in your hearts, as it was the purpose of God for you to be one body, and give praise to God at all times. Let the word of Christ be in you in all words of wisdom, teaching and helping one another with songs of praise and holy words, making melody to God with grace in your hearts. Amen.
Dial *811*465# to get Colossians 3 verse 15 as your skiza tune.
Company Warren Mabati Factory Limited nonde urati hundu vatanyika kwikithia ndoto ya kuniyania ntusovo vase mabati kwa na wendu waku valoto na kuiya kilungu cha 5 yulua yana cha mbesa siaku ntusovo sia langi wasana udhando kwa na wendu waku tani ya uthukumitu wako wangu cha yulu takwikithia ntu kufikisa mabati ya kwa mitoki musiku waku vate kuiva kindu tuina mithemba kipathukanyo ya mabati ta Brit Tile, Jamii Tile, Roman Jamii Tile, Box Jamii Tile, Germania Tile na hoyutu na Espana Tile ile kuendesya omuno. Reino mabati tukitengela leluni wanamanga ohoyite na mutatala wa kuiva ombola oyende ya kwaka oyingi no witi ode ya kukuyo mundi kusila mutandao witu wa Facebook ulani Reino mabati kwa mauvombe ange notu kunisimu kusila ambani ino noti muunza ile kenda idhandatu ile nyanya imwe kenda kenda kana noti muunza kenda itano ile kenda imwe nana imwe dhandatu ndukasio kengi kukitana meki mbuino yuke ikayaki yala chaku. Reino Mabati Factory Limited tui yake na mabati maitu.
Mowau maende maalukete na iwinda na nzebe. Kui mowau alama itawe ni mawidhi ululuko angi makakwatanua na ve ala mundu siawa namo. Kweli ve mowau matoneka mwini wa mundu ona mundu atwa basivitali. Kweli kui wau wita wakuowa. Kilungu cha uiti nikilawa kuambilelia kuambia saile na nusu sia wiyo pa Mutongo TV ngwataniyo ya mukamba.
Mukamba aisye ngundi yambe niyo kau indi nisia wetina ne kabila niambia wengi mukamba ni wisisia kusangongoi inyusa muluo
yu vai kunyo muluo nondo Vilingi Wa Mauvoo
ukamba witu ni museo na wilato ndi ito Mutongo TV kwatanyo ya mukamba ni twavika.
Mauvoo makele mavuti no konya uteti utandithia na nima no manithwa bandini wa Vilingi wa Mauvoo
metha maitu mengunu kilandwani ukamba witu
kuma ketwinzine mweka make ono mama sako mamoka nenyo mama sako mweka nyamae ono mama kuene matinda
Anaitu maisio sia Kisuani nginya musini munene wa Kenya ilovi kitambasie kwata ikilala wa nundu woni wenyu wa Mauvoo wa thela itina wa Vilingi kuvuvwa yu we makwata mema vyo maumete iko
cha kimwe kiruanda na ngwatanio ni vina yu Mutongo TV nikoka memekoka kama visa alake ukwata nyamukamba
Mutongo TV
ngwatanio ya mukamba
nitwavika
musese witu mwendwa Mutongo TV ni avwila ukambani na yakwata nzeve ya luma na watu mevusa ye kufikia mamilioni ma andu alama tosia isi ya kila muthenya kwa kutangasivya biasala waku kana kumanithia alama evasa ila mwendo waku watutia kwisila imanithia sia iku kwa Mauvoo mbeange tufikie kwisila nambani ya simu noti imwe ina kenda ile imwe na itatu mwonza kana ututumie email kwisila sales@mutongotv.co.ke. Mutongo TV ni ngwatanio ya mukamba tukwatane twaile biasala situ.
Nina udhochenge musihisi tuendeye na kumanithia muvea wa kuungamia walanio wa kisomo va Kenya KICD ni wa kwatambau itambia ya skulu sia junior secondary ila sina grade ya mwonza ya nyanya na ya kenda kwende ya kuidhi wa skulu ni sia musingi uungu wa kisomo cha CBC. Ofisa munene wa KICD Professor Charles Ongondo ya sekanama niwa alame ulika skulu ni sia junior secondary mwaka ni tuendete ninde meulika uimani na andu ala sio kuidhi wanamo ni alimu ma skulu sia musingi alame thi tumi masomethia kuma me grade ya mbe utondo mwandiko itu Ajalina Muse ukuelesya.
Ongondo anene komanoni ya 18 ya kila mwaka ya alimu anene ma skulu sia musingi kepsha na ila yende eva kauntini ya Mombasa.
Our research at KICD, which is mostly done through coming to you to experience what the learners are doing, have demonstrated to us that public schools have run away with making sure that there's a lot of practicality in schools. To the extent that you are aware, we have been excused of such things as asking learners to bring chicken to school. You have heard that. How the hell would the learners know what kuku is and where it comes from if we don't see it? Do you know that there are still our learners that if you tell kuku inatoka wapi, anakuambia wapi? Supermarket. Anasema wapi? There are many learners, if you tell them where does the milk come from, what will they tell you?
Amanyiwa milioni umwangili maana ili miongo nyanya na mwonza na maana atano na miongo kenda na mwonza ma class cha grade 6 nimo manekalilie mutiani wa Kenya Primary School Education Assessment na ula unathelile wakati tuchumwane kithelu mwaini wambe mayeko atiwa kulika maskulu ni ma junior secondary.
So for us as curriculum developers, we are happy that you are exposing these learners to practical learning moments. Let us continue doing that as we plead with the government to avail resources.
Ingine watakana design ya mavuku ma grade 7 ni maumete na kana makavi kwa maskulu ni matuku miongo ili na atatu mwaini wambe mwaka ni ukite wangili ili na miongo ili na itatu vala watakana makane ngano kuitane kui alimu anene ni kana alimu ma grade 7 mavikie kuvundi wanemo.
And I want to plead, Mr. Chairman, because you are the midwives, you are the mid-husbands, when the curriculum designs for grade 7 come to our schools, kindly take the opportunity and expose them to the teachers who are qualified to teach junior, whom you will assign that lot, so that they rise. They are ready. We have not distributed them because we are waiting for guidance from the Presidential Working Party on education reforms. They have now given guidance. Our task as KICD will be to endeavor to make sure that they are in your schools by the 23rd of January. Clap for the institute.
Kavindani kau gavana kaunti ya Mombasa Abdulswamad Sharif Nasir kavindani kale vikite koma nono yu kutuvia alimu nene maskulu cia musingi ni wawetekana uvisi wake no vikie kukwata mbao kisoma iwetekana no kuvikia kuambisi walanyoa kunenga na liua mana kwi amanyiwa ma ECDE va kaunti ya Mombasa.
I will fix what needs to be fixed, I will protect what needs to be protected, and I will grow what needs to be grown, and I will weed out what needs to be weeded out. But in the process of that, nikishamaliza historia ya mishahara na mimi vile ninavyo protect wafanyakazi, I will need to protect the citizens of Mombasa. Wakiniambia walienda pahali wakashindwa kupata matibabu, I will need an answer as to why those people were not going to get treatment.
Ingi gavana one wambulakana no kufikia kwetikilana na mvia ilovia na kwekia saini kana kwekithia kana misala ya thukumi ma county ndina aselewa na ikavikia kuiva matuku 23 kila mwai.
Very soon tunaweka mkataba, itakuwa katika siku zangu 100 na mashirika ya kifedha ya kwa any given time kukichelewa mshahara, wafanyekazi, pesa zikichelewa kutoka Nairobi, wafanyekazi wa baraza la Mombasa County Government mshahara wao ulipwe tarehe 26-27.
Vakuvi alimu wanene maskulu cia musingi ngili 10 mavikite kwa manone ye na ila yotwa iwanginya wakatano skulu ni wa Sheikh Zaid Musumbe William Ruto ayekwatwa kuvingwe kwa mano ye kwe muthenyani wa one. Ngilivote ya Vilingi Wa Mauvoo kuma kaunti ya Mombasa nita wa Angelina Mose.
Amanigwa makimanisio kinene cha masako ni matwa isia miatiania ukwi umundi maiteta kumana na kuangeleka kwa ungei na uvungulu wa Mauvoo musini wa masako na mono isioni isia kathemboni katoloni isili katewa ingi ila sikithululukite kimanisio kiu maovisa mavolisi na malasimikie kutumia nzeve ya 10 methoi kuvalani amanigwa alame kwenda kuvinga lelwa kuma masako kuthi wote maiteta kanave umwo unati wanithayu itawa kuvithukiwa ni mang'endili. Daniel Mwongela nukuelesya.
Kuma masani makioko kwi umundi polisi ba musini wa masaku ni methiwa na ivinda yumu muno maingana na maniwa skuru ni munene wa Machakos University. Amaniwa maivalani vyo maundu mautandithia na mekalile isioni cia katoloni kathemboni isili na isio ingi ila ciithulukite kimanizo ki cha Machakos University kwa kuvinga lelo na kuicha mavia.
We need our rights. Tumekuja huku kusoma, sio kuuliwa, kupigwa mavisu huku. Right now our comrade is dead there. Tukikuja tukijitokeza kujitetea wanatukimbiza. It's not good.
Ki kinene cha maandamano ki kuvungulwa muo ula withiri ndukosi wa isioni cia katoloni kathemboni na mwani womwe akavithukiwa na kutiwa ni thayu.
Astute comrades, we understand at times we come into decisions that maybe we were not meant to do so. At times as a leader, you make the right decision, but at times you might make the decision right. For now, we've made the decision right to suspend violence, Amen. Implore dialogue, for us to sort out, for us to solve the insecurity menace.
Unuwi uvo mawisa mavolisi ni mesa uvo vendu isu ino kutumia nzeve ya kuiticha methoi unaicha manigwa alame kwenda ulika musieni wa masaku na kulikila maundu mautandithia amomo maikimanga kundu kwa utandithia na kuya mali ya ene ndhiva musieni wa masaku. Nikituminiki wala gavana wa masaku wethi wanakikalo kimwana na maovisa kuma muveani wa UCCI na utongoi wa manigwa kuma kimanisioni ki yulu wa vungulusu wa Mauvoo wala nake Mwandu Roda Unyanja ule ni county commissioner wa county no ya Masaku walesekana kuvikia vu ni meki tembini esilwa bewa miongo 3 evo ofisa umwe ula ukona nuna siku sio vithukia na kuvena amanigwa kuma kimanisioni ki simu na miyo ingiyo ya vata.
We've been able to secure the area, intensify patrols, and so far we've arrested 33 criminals, including a police officer, who have been mugging or robbing the students in that area. And some of them have been able to give intelligence or lead, and they have been able to lead the security team to Mololongo. We have been able to recover 120 telephones, because they have been stealing electronic equipment and especially mobile phones. So we've been able to
Kwenana na maofisa ma DCI ni kavolisi usu eweta taithi tuenda konanua na siko sia kuya amaniwa mali yota simu sindu ingi wala withi ndatethianisya na munanae na kwao yu nimekiwe mbini na kumina uvingi wa kiseseni kinene cha volisi kila kiva musini wa Masaku.
And the investigations are going on, and once the investigations are over, we are going to charge them in a court of law.
Na kigavana wa kaunti ino ya Masaku Mwandu wa Vinyandeti ni waelesekana nimekwikia mawalini ala mailite ungua serikali ino ya kaunti ya Masaku nikenda kukidekana amanigwa ala mekuwa kuna kundu kuka usome ya kimanisioni kini methi wana ivinda ya ilu na kusia siku siya kwasua kwa dhayu.
What we are supposed to do as county government, we will do. You will have the street lights as we have agreed. Kwa hivyo vijana wetu na wasichana wetu wale wako university, mimi ningependa tu kuambia neno moja. Let the people outside not involve you in their criminal activities. When your parents send you here, they send you to come and read, and they know their children are safe. I say you walked through the university gate on your own, and you shall walk out of that gate on your own.
Daniela Mwankela, Utongoi TV, kumovanza wa kimanisi cha Machakos University kauntini ya Masaku.
Zama ya mbunge ya maundu mailovia kwi umundi ni ya Muthima Benedict Mwasia ula wendekethetwe kutuika memba wa nzama ya wailovia kana Commission of Revenue Allocation. Kolo otwa kwa Mwasia kuyoneka nenzika iyo siya Musumbi William Ruto kutonga kwoko ilembetani ya ukamba na vala ainena mbe wa nzama ya Mwasia wawetakana ena utuika ula uyanite mwanyani wetina wa kuthukuma na muvea wa ukolania wa koti KRA.
The issue that has come up is only one. Nominated 5 of these nominees. Then
Niliondieki research officer. Shamsa, meet research officer.
The leadership and integrity question, I'll take through.
I, Benedict Mwasia Mutiso, do swear that the information I shall give before this Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning on the matter under its consideration shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Please look at the issue of own source revenue as one of the when you're doing the county revenue sharing formula, having allocation of more points or more weight to generation of source revenue and prudent use of resources, because I think we have engaged on this matter a lot, that there is a lot of reliance on the national allocation vis-a-vis the counties being more proactive.
We want to encourage counties through the reports that CRA does to look at how they can use their share of the equitable share and address marginalization within the counties themselves by providing that data, either from the Bureau of Statistics and other sources. They'll be able to then address marginalization internally.
Mwanono tunengiwe ni rais kendo chambe ukambani wo nde wa Masako wa Kitui na wa Makueni. Nituoneka niwe twane wa mwana nikenda nundu watata usisi ya kaunti susitu si fall katika ila kaunti tuita marginalized, yani si atiwe tina kimaendeo na uyomba munene wa commission ino niko sisi othukumiwa mbesa sieta equalization fund kana mbesa ila si yetonde serikali nikenda siukilia isio ila si akenda si atiwe tina ni busenene na ti kindu cha kawaida kunewa mwanosu ta member wa UDA out of member million than that. Kwa ni kuonania kana Musumbe na chama mena imani na uwezo wako wote the serikali ya Kenya Kwanza kuthi direction ila mekwenda ndino ethi nikuboya ngai na kwikwatia kana report yo yumathenzo nikenda na nino no ni already ni manenga ni notice ya special city ya kosa report ya committee no yetu mbunge ni wakana ko utwe boya ngai kana wakana bunge na weka bitukithia
kungi ni kana mainyiva amuika miongo 32 kuma ile mbetani ya kiswani ni matethekie na kimanza cha milioni ile ndono nyanya cia kumatethecia kukilia utuika wa kiutandithia kila umwe woenukie na kimanza cha ngili miongo kenda ungwa walanio wa kukwata ene ndimbau kumana na ukono watu linyuto wa corona kwa amuika la maendeye na maendesi zeso ya utuika utonya kumokilia kiukwati na kuseuvya nyanya ya mauya kwa amuika alangi.
So my name is Kezia Olo. I'm from Jomvu Sub-County, Mombasa County. So my idea here is about commercializing kitchen gardens. So I'm one of the beneficiaries of the program by Aga Khan Foundation, which is we have been taken through human-centered design and how we can create innovative ideas in order to sustain our lives or also even empower the community as a whole. So my idea is about how I can use kitchen gardens, but now as first to sort out the food security issues and also make it a sustainable activity where we can generate money from it.
So Ukulima Hub is a model whereby we are introducing a new technology to farmers ambayo itakuwa inapatia uwezo mkulima kuweza kutathmini mazao yake, kutathmini mmea na pia vile vile iko na uwezo wa kumwambia mkulima kama mmea una ugonjwa, ni ugonjwa gani unasumbua ule mmea na ni wapi anaweza kupata dawa. So it's a holistic mobile based application ambayo iko na 3 categories. An e-commerce center whereby mkulima anaweza kauza na akanunua na akalipwa, na iko na center ya pili ambayo mkulima anaweza kapata elimu ama mafunzo kuhusiana na kilimo anachofanya, na center ya tatu ni ile center ambayo mkulima anaweza kutumia hii application kumsaidia kujua magonjwa yanayoathiri mmea wake kupitia kamera yake kuscan ule mmea alafu atapata information. So hiyo ndo business ambayo naifanya mimi na ni biashara ambayo imeanza kwa sasa and the application is underway being developed.
European Union has given us funding to support youth in Coast Region, 4 counties in Coast Region, and also other counties in other regions like Nakuru and elsewhere. And one of the things that we are doing, one is we are working with our health partners or health agencies within AKDN and also outside AKDN to make sure that the scourge of COVID that has affected us economically, it has affected us socially, we try to address, especially those challenges that are related to youth or have affected youth.
Na hindi musizia kwa Mauvoo asutu ambodhi umawanini tusekadetie na Mauvoo mbeange tukasonga basa.
Musizia wa Mtongo TV ni mkwata chuma cha kikiseo na mulema wa kuatinda nesa. Yule na utocha kibuni kitu cha tunaendani.
Kwa mungu bata akamena tena. Kaze tinoni ninaongene. Na idea yake ina jinsi ya that is to a positive. Ike na ike kisio tega naese. Nye ikagwenta.
Nilala sema ndiko mbele ya yuruwa uzatu ni muhiyo na inayumwe kwa maisha kana ngo ya ndia nilale kalalo.
Enda ikulyo yu nangi maingi ine kutuma wethu wa moto waku tukamake ndukelwe nansika ikalandi tunenani.
Kumajana mpaka Desemba mpaka wana magano ambao hata ende Biblia tu anena na kama na utatu ende lakini ende Mungu mkinada ola weka isina wakota Mungu
siana siena tena ukeli ya mwana no ona nyumba we mutakio mdepika
umwe ane kana etweka mono ase tutona gwikara kina twithu kesi cia na situ na twina na kanuna nacio sina mawoni ni si gogo ila situ kusikona na tutukati
akati wa kuifanya siate ngomenda ya ile kwa stereotypes ziaje
tunenanie kila wakeli kwambia saile na nusu cia wiyo ba Mutongo TV ngwatanio ya mukamba
umaniwa niwa nongo thio gitia zimba
Akenya ni matiki critics lakini wanawe asiwe kindu kisio moko tabia
ni abedo yeku
tukane ni
taneza manyuma siwanane bomu kubwa ni kanivuli mwana inobi wedele ande bastua kaka nimesema taneza ndikola spaki na kama na mwana zaita wakithon Mombasa saizi wanakoni
anaweza wakwambisema
hapana
asi
ngina naite yabui
otondo Yesu wa meya ya tume enda yonde mukanaiche ula uvo musio
boya makanisa na agamba ni muboya munetwa cha ndo muboya
open talent now engineering is passion professional unaelewa ina nende buna attitude ya hiyo na my mother kana
no sawa amuka mwini musiono ngina eve kiwanga
Mukei? Totally Mukei. Mukei wangai pio.
Kuna mungu tita na kulia zi. Nunu ndio kukenda. Koni nema niyo so.
Ngaino ukuhunde asiasiendo. That show you that it's not about you. It's about him being glorified.
umaniwa niwa nongo
musese witu mwendwa Mutongo TV ni avwila ukambani na yakwata nzeve ya luma no tumevusa ye kuvikia mamilioni ma andu alama tosia isi ya kila muthenya kwa kutangasithia biasala waku kana kumanithia alama evasa ila mwendo waku watutia kwisila imanithia sia iku kwa mavombe yange tuvikie kwisila nambani ya simu noti imwe ina kenda ile na itatu monza kana ututume email kwisila sales@mutongotv.co.ke Mutongo TV ni yongwatanio ya mukamba tukwatane twaile biasala situ.
Dial *811*461# to get Matthew 17:20 as your skiza tune.
Matthew chapter 17 verse 20. For I assure you, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will tell this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Amen.
Dial *811*461# to get Matthew 17:20 as your skiza tune.
Nina uthocha ingi twendeye na kumanithia ngwatanio ya ene ngali cia maratu yu yendekethia unengani wa mawalua mautwai wa ngali kana license mathamiwe muveani wa amwika wa NOS na kumwa kwa muvea wa kuikithia mugo malelo ni NTSA ngwatanio ikwisila kwa mwene kivila wayo Simon Kimutai yeweta kana mendekethia mwaluku aitina wa kumanya kana NTSA ithitwe inengana mawalua akwa andu matena utuika wa kutwa ngali Kimutai ingia cia kana NOS ithitwe ivundisia atwa imangali wakwata utuika ula wailite na bena bata makanengelelwa uya utanzia imwe ya kuikithia mbanga nisiaoleka maleluni.
To have proper training on PSV drivers, and this, our government should help us on this, because if you buy a matatu, somebody will just bring a license and you employ that person, and maybe that person will go and crash your vehicle, crashing 6 million on the road, and that is investment.
The issue of issuing PSV license to drivers on the strength of the age of the license. 4 years, you're told, if you have a 4-year-old license, you're eligible to get a license. And you do get it without testing, being tested, whether you are able to drive. And this now causes problems to us as investors in public transport. This person will come and land from my vehicle. And yet, I'm blamed when an accident occurs. we should blame the people who issue them licenses, because they should be held liable for licensing a person who is not qualified. So we made a recommendation at the same time that the function of issuance of PSV license be removed from NTSA and be taken to an area who have the capacity to taste and classify. National Youth Service is known for producing the best drivers in the country. Why can this function be given to them?
At the formation of speed governors, that was in 2004, our business was taken up by brokers for around 4 years. They could sell our certificates. You are validated by government, but they could sell our certificate right, left, and center. I conceived in my spirit that we needed to come together as speed governor vendors. We have worked together since 2008. And let me say, whoever has embraced the limiting of speed, especially on the matatu, 3048 and the trucks, you know very well that you are not in a lot of trouble.
Kungi ni kanandiki Ma Mauvoo va Kenya yuni mamika ya serikali nene ilikilile na kumovo siya kumana na itambia ya imwesi ya nyomba siya Mauvoo kuika mawaliuku mavinda kwa mavinda kumana na ivinda yomo inyaki ukwati na kutia mwemo matena mawia. Maine nasi kukoni yo ya kumina mwaka ilaita iwe musini wa ilovi andiki Ma Mauvoo matongo iwe ni President wa Ron Cliff Odit. Mawetie kanandiki Ma Mauvoo medhiitwe maiwutwa ila mawaliuku ameikwa na kwenda serikali imanzia siya kuendea na kumatedhesya.
Every government will want to look up.
Story yetu ndo tubebe kwanza.
Wapi makofi?
Ni wakati mgumu sana kwa wanahabari Kenya, kwa sababu wanahabari wanapitia kipindi kigumu, kazi zinapotea, zinakuwa chache, ulimwengu wa dijitali umeharibu kabisa vile wanahabari wanavyofanya kazi. Lakini vile vile pia tukumbuke kwamba tumetoka tu kumaliza msimu wa siasa. Tuna serikali mpya kwa sasa, na mwito wangu mimi wakati ambapo wanahabari wanapitia kipindi kigumu ni kwamba serikali ya Kenya Kwanza ikiongozwa na Rais William Ruto lazima itambue kwamba wanahabari ni kitengo muhimu sana katika uongozi wa nchi, na wakati wanahabari wanapopitia kipindi kigumu, mashirika mbalimbali Kenya yanayopitia kipindi kigumu, Kenya Airways, KQ, shirika la ndege likipitia kipindi kigumu, serikali inaingilia kati ili kuwasaidia. So tunatoa mwito kwa serikali, na Rais William Ruto alisema kwamba yeye ni rais wa wanyonge. Huu ndio wakati wa kuonyesha kwamba anatekeleza hilo. Tunataka aingilie kati kuhakikisha kwamba watu hawapotezi ajira. Inasikitisha sana wakati ambapo watu wameenda shule, wamesoma, wanafanya kazi yao, lakini wanapoteza ajira kwa sababu makampuni ya wanahabari, makampuni ya habari hayawezi kuwalipa wanahabari.
The digital disruption is happening and you can feel the impact within the newsroom. And when we come together, like right here, what we do is come together, network, and think through how can we be able to benefit, especially how can we diversify our skills, how can we diversify in terms of scholarly, like to become even contributors into academic.
I'm looking forward towards a future where journalists will be courageous enough to tell stories. There's so much that is happening in the country. Drought is a very big problem, and it is a recurrent problem that needs to be addressed. The issue on corruption is also a thorn in the flesh of the Kenyan population.
If the media can help us to communicate the potential that access to electricity and clean energy has, then that will be a very, very great achievement that we can make.
Kungi ni kana utalo munene wa NND kuma kisioni cha Tana Delta kaunti ya Tana River ni matethiki na uiti utendi vikuma kwa muvea wa kuungamia isukio wa Kenya kana Kenya Ports Authority we mwamba na muvea wa uiti wa kaunti isu ya Tana River. Ainene sasoni ila hatwa iwe skuluni wa musingi wa Arap Moi muungamei wa maundu ma uiti muveani wa KPA Dr. Some Lenga ni wawetakana NND mbe waangilie mwe na maana ili ni makuni kilo Mauvoo uta kanza COVID-19 Mauvoo ma medho kati wa Mauvoo wange.
Out of the stuff that we've seen today, diseases is upper respiratory tract infections, tonsillitis, rhinitis, pharyngitis that we've taken care of. We've seen a few people who have had chronic illnesses. Some of the people, because of the triage system, we are telling them today that they are most probably hypertensive, that they need to be on care. They had no idea, which is good. We have seen one very sick person with diabetes who has not been on care. So that means basically we are giving them medication, but we all know that is a continuous medication. They may not be able to afford that, and that's the reason actually why they're in trouble today, because as much as they know they're diabetic, they have not had medication for a long time.
We pick these pits in regard to the health interventions because it's one way of direct impacting on the community.
Hapa nimekuja nipate matibabu ya bure. Maana yake finance imekuwa problem. Kwa hivyo kulipokuja hii huduma ya madaktari wa madawa, naona ni nafuu kwangu na kwa wengine wenzangu.
Wakazi wa hapa hasa madaktari hapa hawatoshi. Yaani hakuna madawa ya kutosha. Watu wengi ni wagonjwa na wako mbalimbali. Wako mbali sana kuwapata. Na kutembea na mguu kuja hospitali ni vigumu, na hasa wakati wa mvua ni shida sana. Na hata hizo magari kufika, wengine wanakaa ng'ambo ya pili ya mto. Sasa kutumia bridge, gari haivuki, unatembea mguu.
Changamoto hasa ambayo inatupata sisi kama wananchi na wakaji wa huku, wakati huu ni wakati mgumu. Hata mvua ilianza kunyesha juzi tu, kulikuwa na ukame sana, shida, hata watu wengine wanazimia, matibabu hakuna, watu wana shida ya kifedha. Na kwa vile Kenya Ports Authority waliona kwa watu latia msaada, tunasema ni asante.